Thanks so much for joining us on Morning Live Sports. It's just gone 37 minutes past 8. The ICC T20 World Cup is currently being played in India and Sri Lanka. Now, the Proteas are among a handful of teams who are unbeaten at this tournament, but they are in a tough Super 8 group. So to do a bit of a deep dive into the Proteas' performance in the Super 8 stage, we have roped in former national selector Hussein Manack. We're hoping that former Lions bowler Ayavuya Manack will also be able to join us, but unfortunately hasn't yet been able to connect with us. So while we wait, Hussein, I'm going to start with you. Before we get into the nitty-gritty, I think there was a bit of trepidation before or ahead of the T20 World Cup. We knew that perhaps in the past it wasn't exactly our strongest format. You know, in years gone by, that wasn't the case. And then we started to change things. I think, if anything, we've seen a different culture, a different energy, which Shukri and Enoch have managed to imbue into the team, what Aiden is managing to do. Things are going our way, going well. And what do you make of this? What has been the general, I think, consensus that has led us here, Hussein? What do you make of everything thus far?
Firstly, good morning, Stacey, to you and your viewers. Yeah, I would agree with you. I think there's a good energy going through the side at the moment. They're playing some good cricket. It's been a good start to the World Cup as well. And it looks like they've put together a useful and a really good combination of players that look very well balanced. And I know initially there was, as you say, some trepidation. Then there were a couple of injuries and a few replacements. But I think what they've got now looks to me like a really well-balanced team. I think the other advantage is you have now a group of players who most of them are very accomplished and have spent many years playing IPL cricket on the subcontinent in India. So, you know, for the first time in a very long time, we have a team who have played a lot of cricket in the conditions that they're going into. I mean, if you go back many years, many World Cups, South African teams would go to the subcontinent and be relatively inexperienced in those conditions. So the fact that guys like Quinton de Kock, Aiden Markram, Janssen, a lot of them, Rabada, all of them have, Ngidi, a lot of them have played in the subcontinent, in all the T20 tournaments there, particularly the IPL. I think bodes well because, you know, the conditions when you go to the subcontinent are key. The noise, the crowd, the pollution, like all the things that come along with playing in the subcontinent in India particularly. And the other thing is they would have played in all the venues that they're going to be playing at. For example, they're playing India now in Ahmedabad. That is probably one of the biggest stadiums in the world, you know. And a lot of them have played here already a few times, not just once. So I think that's really a big thing. The other thing to mention is that Aiden Markram's, you know, I remember when I was in the selection panel, I'll go back 10, 15 years when he just started. One of the things we did, he came out of the Under-19 World Cup and eventually got into the squad. And at a young age, we made him captain against India. I think it was in an ODI series. And at that stage, he was very young. And I still say to this, I'm like, you know what, I think perhaps we got him in as a captain and it may have been a little premature at that stage, you know. But we always knew that he had that ability to captain. He had that leadership ability where people would follow him. And he was a good leader. So I think you've got a good leader, you've got a good captain who's leading from the front. He's found form, he's in good form. I think the other important thing is also somebody like a Shukri Conrad. As a coach, I've got a huge amount of respect for Shukri. If you look at what he's done now with the ICC Test Championship, the way he's managed to find a way to put together a squad and juggle things around, to find the best formula to play in that final at Lords against Australia and beat Australia at Lords in the final in a high-pressure game. That's not something that you can often say about a South African team in a big match or a big knockout game. So I think Shukri is a streetwise coach. He comes from a very, very different space, and with the greatest respect, I say this, to many of the other coaches we've had in the past. So he does have a very streetwise way of dealing with things, and I'd say slightly unorthodox, but the players are behind him. They back him, they respect him, they enjoy working with him, and he's a coach who will back players. So I think they've got a good thing going, and it's looking very positive at the moment.
Yeah, Hussein, I can't believe it, but I've just been told that we've run out of time. But I just loved all the points that you brought through here. And in fact, I wanted to speak more about Shukri because when I was an intern with what was then the United Cricket Board, I remember what a big personality he was. And I think it's such an important point that we perhaps need to bring you back and discuss is I think he's given the team that psychological edge that we probably missed for all these years as well. Before I let you go quickly, how do you think the next stage, our game against India is going to fare in less than 30 seconds? Because we've stayed in Ahmedabad, and I think there's valuable insight for our team given that.
Correct. I think they, like I said, they played there before, so it's a big game. India, to beat India in India with that crowd, 100,000 plus people there, it's not going to be easy. So we'll have to be at our best. But I think it's very possible. I mean, we came really close in the final last year, in the T20 final. So I think South Africa have what it takes. So yeah, wish them all the best. And I think if we play good cricket and do the basics well, I think we should be fine. But it's a tough Indian side, make no mistake.
Awesome. Hussein, thanks for chatting to us. I'm definitely going to get you back. Let's have a longer conversation, hopefully as we progress in the T20 World Cup. We've been chatting to Hussein Manack. He's a former national selector, just sharing his insights there. Unfortunately, that's all we have time for in our sports bulletin and in the show this morning. Where has the time gone to? Anyway, do stay tuned to the show. In the last 15 minutes, we still have so much left for you.